Good evening, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. In India, it's evening. It's 8 o'clock. In UK, it's in the afternoon, 3 o'clock. Right?
3 o'clock. A nice sunny day today,
It's
which
a
is
sunny day. Okay.
rare.
So, we let's welcome Sarah Spicer in our Academy once again, and I hope everyone will pump in this wonderful session from Sarah Spicer, the English coach from the UK. And if everyone can turn the videos for today, that will be, you know, more helpful to us so that we can get to know each other. So please, I repeat it and everyone, if you can turn your video on, that will be great. That is only my request. Okay, so please, in case if you're not turning your videos, we are very sorry and unfortunately will remove you in the next 5 minutes. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Sarah Spicer in today's webinar. Here is
Thank
your
you.
statements. Yeah,
Thank you very much, sir. And it's a pleasure to be back again. I know there's so many familiar faces that I met last time on the call.
sure.
So thank you very much. And hello to anybody I've not met before.
Right,
So
right.
today, really, I want to share some of my tips. Well, first, share some opportunities in
Mm-hmm.
the UK, potential opportunities in the UK, the
Mm-hmm.
importance of speaking English confidently, but also I want to share some tips as well and
Right.
tell you a little bit about my challenge. So I've actually prepared some slides. If you
Mm-hmm.
have any comments or any questions as we go along, please feel free to put them in the chat box. But if you have questions at the end, I will open it up and answer your questions as well.
Awesome.
Okay, so let me share my slides, hopefully.
Sure.
And off we go. So
Nice.
everything's going a bit slowly.
Okay.
Oh, everything goes slow. There we go. So speak English with confidence for opportunities in the UK. Now, I wanted to talk about this because I'm sure people say, well, you need to speak English confidently and it's really important to know English.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because there's so many opportunities. It really can open up so many doors worldwide and especially in the UK. So
Mm-hmm.
today, really, as I said, talk about these opportunities, explain why speaking English, specifically speaking, not just writing, is really important. I'm going to share the 3 C's of effective communication. So here's some tips that I think you should really be focusing on to get the best results.
Mm.
And finally, I'll tell you a little bit more about our Speak English with Confidence challenge that I've been working on with Sir and our Sir Academy, which I'm very excited about. So, first of all, who am I? A little bit about me. This is
Mm.
this is me. I'm from a town in the UK called Macclesfield, which is sort of the northwest of the UK, quite close to Manchester.
Mm.
I was born here, but I've lived overseas for several years, um, working as an English teacher. So I've been an English teacher and a coach for around 18 years now. In my career as an English teacher, I worked in Thailand and Japan for a total of 6 years altogether.
Mm-hmm.
And then back in the UK, I've worked at universities, in businesses with people of many different nationalities. So, whatever country you're from, whatever your first language is, I can help you in English.
Nice.
Qualifications, it's always good to talk about. My background's actually in psychology, and this is why I became a coach in the psychology of learning languages. And I've also got a master's in applied linguistics. I'm also a business owner, and becoming a business owner really made me realize the opportunities that language and communication gives you. You know, you have to have conversations, do networking, building relationships is so important. And it's the same wherever you're from, right? And so it's not just about learning English, but understanding how to communicate in English to build relationships.
Mm.
And in 2021, I qualified as a neurolanguage English coach. Now, I did this course because I was working with people from different countries who were working in the UK. They knew the English. They felt confident in some situations, but not all. But still, they were holding back and still didn't feel confident at work or giving presentations. And this is why I decided to train as a coach rather than just a teacher, because it's more than knowing the language, it's being able to connect with people and build confidence. It's neuro language because it's based on neuroscience. So it's all about how the brain learns languages. So when I help clients, we're working with the most efficient way. Okay. Often when we learn languages at school, it's not very efficient. We learn grammar rules, lists of vocabulary, but that doesn't necessarily mean you can actually use it and speak confidently. So this is why some of the hacks, I use brain-friendly brain hacks to help you speak more fluently as well. Okay, so that's a little bit about me. As I say, if you've got any questions, please do feel, I don't know if I can see the chat, but feel free to share if you have any questions. And let's move on. So I want to hear, to write in the chat, please, what are your goals? I want to hear a little bit from you.
Yeah. Please
So
write.
maybe you came here today, you want to feel more confident using English. Why? What do you want to do in English?
Right.
Maybe you want to travel. Maybe you want to get a job in an international company. Maybe you want to do business overseas. I'd love to hear from you on what your goals are. Okay, international communication. Clients from the UK? Yes, that'd be great. So yeah, business and being able to speak to people from all over the world.
Mhm.
English really does open up so many doors. International clients, communicate business owner confident. Yes. And being a business owner as well, I know how important it is to communicate confidently as
Right.
well.
So we have like 54 people. I want everyone to write your goals in this webinar. So guys, please write down your goals so that we can move forward. I want Okay, nice. So guys, keep
Okay,
writing.
great.
Mhm.
International people. If I wonder if anyone's looking to work abroad at all in different countries. It's good for me to know what you want, and this helps me to uh, help you in the best way, basically. Make a business globally. Excellent. It's great to have these great big goals as well to work towards. So, international clients, of course, developing your English. Now, I'm going to talk about the UK specifically, but I know this is true for many English speaking countries. So, US, Canada, probably Australia as well. Probably very similar situation. So this is the UK. I'm just south of Manchester, you can see. First opportunities for you is remote positions in global companies. I work with corporate companies based in the UK, and many of them are hiring people that are actually located in other countries, but working for a UK company. There are many opportunities like that, especially in companies with skills gaps, which I'll come on to talk about later. So, in this situation, you don't even have to leave your house. You know, you can work remotely, and there are more and more opportunities like that in these global companies. Next, there are many opportunities in sectors and areas where there's skills gaps. In the UK right now, we have huge skills gaps in healthcare. So people are always looking to hire from overseas or people in the UK in terms of healthcare. IT and tech, there are so many opportunities in IT and tech and engineering as well. So these are the kinds of companies that I work with that are actively hiring from overseas. Now, it doesn't, maybe you're thinking, well, I'm not in healthcare or I don't do tech, I'm not an engineer. There are opportunities within those companies in other roles. Maybe you're a HR expert or a sales expert. These kind of companies are great to aim at because they provide sponsorship for people from overseas. So even if you aren't in these areas, there could be opportunities. And business services for SMEs. SMEs, companies like mine, but even bigger companies as well, are looking further afield to find business services because the costs are so high in the UK for these things. So they're looking all over for these services. So if you can communicate, speak, and build trust with these companies and get known, then there's going to be lots of opportunities. So I've seen some of more of your goals: international clients, public speaking, excellent. Working with the international market, global business owner. Great. It's great to see all of these goals, and there are opportunities out there. However, we need to stand out because, you know, there's competition. First of all, there's competition from different countries. So that's why being able to speak English confidently is essential. I know lots of people feel more confident writing. I know I worked with a guy who made an app for me. He was actually from India, and he always used to text me WhatsApp all the time, just WhatsApp, which was fine. But I know that other people want to get to know you, speak to you, build trust with you as well. And that you're more likely to get the business if you actually speak to people. I don't know, no one's mentioned this, but if you're looking to get a job abroad or work for a global company, being confident in job interviews is essential as well. You might have good English on paper, but if you don't speak with confidence, you're less likely to stand out and get the position. And as I said before, building trust. We have this thing when it comes to business, you know, you get to know people. The more you see them, you get to maybe like them when you get to know them, and then you trust them. And there is a lack of trust in the world. If you are a business owner and it's coming to sales, people are feeling less trustful of others. So it's important to be able to build that connection with people, and being able to speak confidently is going to help. Alpha, I'm just looking at your comments again. Communicate with different people, excellent. Expand your influence, reaching global audience. Connect, persuade, inspire. Amazing, I love it. Perfect, yeah, and this is all the things where the speaking with confidence is going to help you so much. Okay, so I want to hear now as well how to stand out in English. So we need to speak English in order to communicate your ideas, right? But what should we focus on? Now, when I ask this question to clients when I first meet them, they might say the following to me, and I don't agree. First, they might say, I need to speak with a native speaker accent. So they tell me, Sarah, I need to have a British accent or American. People won't take me seriously. but I don't agree, first of all. Second, they tell me I need to speak with high-level vocabulary, right? I need to use very complicated words when I speak, otherwise people won't take me seriously. I disagree. And they might tell me I have to speak English with perfect grammar. I have to make perfect sentences and not make any mistakes. Otherwise, people won't take me seriously. Now, believe me, I work with lots of people who are in the UK doing business, working. These aren't the areas to focus on. In fact, I think when you focus on these areas, it's a waste of time, actually. And we're all busy. If you're a business owner, if you're working, we need to make sure we focus on what's going to get results. So these are the 3 C's of effective communication. Rather than a native speaker accent, you need to focus on clarity. So being clear. So clear pronunciation. This doesn't mean changing your accent, but maybe adapting certain things and practicing the rhythm. We will talk more about that in a moment. It could be using vocabulary that people actually use. It doesn't have to be very high level vocabulary, but the words that your customer, your clients, your colleagues are using. And this will help you to communicate clearly. Clarity is important. Now, once we've got clarity, once people understand what you're saying, then we need the confidence. Because when you're confident, people take you seriously. If you're not confident, it's sad. But if you aren't confident, then people won't necessarily trust in your skills as well. And the final point that I talked about at the beginning is connection. We need to be able to connect with people through English. It's not enough just to speak and share your ideas. We need to build that relationship so they can trust us. So these are the 3 core areas that I help clients with. So we'll go into a little bit more detail of each one. So first one is clarity. And as I said, you don't need to speak with a native speaker accent. There are so many native speaker accents as well. Which one do you choose? The focus should be on clear pronunciation. Now, I found working with people from different countries, actually, it's really a good tip is to work on the rhythm of English. If you focus on, so in English rhythm, I don't say my name is Sarah and I'm an English coach. I say my name is Sarah and I'm an English coach. We stress certain words in the sentence. So if you can get this stress right, it's going to help you to communicate more clearly. Another thing is word stress. Let's take the word confidence. Confidence. If you notice, con is a bit higher, a bit louder. We need to make that right, that stressed. Confidence. If you say confidence, confidence, then native English speakers will hear a different word. So that's another tip, is to make sure you stress the right part of the word. Again, with clarity, it's not about high-level vocabulary, but words that British people or American people actually use. So often, clients will say something to me and I don't know that word. And they're like, it was in the dictionary, it's an English word. And it might be an English word that they've translated, but it's not a word that people often use. And how you can build your vocabulary is to make sure you listen more to English speakers, like podcasts, read more in English, so you know the words that people are actually using. And of course, we don't need perfect spoken grammar. Grammar is important to a point. You need to express yourself precisely, But making a few mistakes won't affect clarity. When you're speaking, if you make a few mistakes, it doesn't matter. It's more important to be clear. Okay, next, confidence. If you're not confident, you don't feel confident, you're more likely to hesitate when you speak. You're trying to think of the right word to say, but you can't, so you don't say exactly what you want to. Or you don't share ideas. I heard a story from a client who he'd sit in meetings and he'd have a really good idea, but he didn't feel confident enough to say it. So his colleague, who was more confident, said his idea. It might not be a good idea. And so he missed that opportunity. So we need that confidence to just speak up, whether you make mistakes or not. And as I mentioned before, if you don't feel confident in your English, people might feel less confident in the work that you do. You could be an amazing salesperson, but if you're not confident in the way that you express it, people might not have trust in your work, which is, it's not fair, but unfortunately, this is often how it is. Now, the solution to this, to building confidence, confidence doesn't just come from doing nothing. It's practicing speaking regularly. Even just 5 minutes a day, 5 minutes of speaking in the mirror, right? Talking to yourself, speaking English out loud is going to build that confidence, make you feel more fluent. Most people don't feel confident because they only speak when they have to speak in that situation, that meeting, or with a colleague. But we need to practice regularly to activate the language and feel the confidence. Another tip as well is when you're speaking, when you're in a meeting, when you're doing the presentation, we're not focusing on grammar. We have practice time to focus on grammar. Here, we're just focusing on the message. We just want to communicate what we want to say. And that is going to be a lot more effective than thinking, am I using all the correct grammar? And another one is working on sounding confident. Now, what I mean by sounding confident, for example, some people say, well, if I can speak English quickly, I will sound fluent. But actually, when you speak quickly, you're not clear. And in fact, when you slow down and you pause and you say less, you're going to sound more confident. So part of how I help clients is making them sound more confident before they feel confident. And also, when you sound confident, with time, you will feel more confident. Okay. So these are the key. Practice, focus on message, and work on those tricks. And the final part that I talked about is connection. Building relationships builds trust. So like I said, through writing, it's going to be very difficult to build trust. But if you can speak to people, you can build the connection. How can we do this? Well, first of all, if you can speak clearly, if you sound confident, it's going to help with the trust. Okay? But also, expressing your personality through English. One of my main goals is to help people to find their voice in English. It's not sounding like you're acting when you're speaking in English, but feeling comfortable, feeling like yourself. When we express our personality, it helps to connect. And I found this by going to business networking events. At first, I wanted to sound very professional. Of course, I want to sound professional. But when I relaxed and felt myself speaking to clients, this is when I built the connection, built the trust, and got clients, corporate clients, in fact. So important. And finally, knowing how people connect in different cultures. Obviously, my expertise lie in the UK, but people do connect and build relationships in different ways. So I'll give you an example from the UK. Small talk, so making a bit of conversation before a meeting, before a job interview, even before any interaction, is normal and expected. So small talk is a little conversation about the weather. You notice today I said it was a sunny day. This is so common in the UK. Talk about the weather, what you did at the weekend. Just a couple of minutes making this conversation helps people to, we say, break the ice, feel more relaxed. And this is when you can connect and do much better, have much more successful meetings. Business meetings go a lot better when you've made that connection before doing business. So don't underestimate small talk. In fact, I had a client recently who was going for job interviews. And she told me when she arrived, it was in a museum, it was a beautiful old building. When she arrived, she made a bit of small talk. She talked about the building with the interviewers. And then when they went into the interview, she just felt so relaxed. They'd already built a connection. Both felt really relaxed. And then in the interview, she just shared her ideas, her expertise. And she said it was like talking to friends. It's so important. So it's a myth that we need to focus on grammar and using lots of words and having a certain kind of accent. Clarity, confidence, and focusing on connection. These are the areas that will be more useful and will get real results. Ultimately, I want you to get the job interview, get the promotion at work, get the clients. This is the aim, but we can do that through building that confidence in English. So I feel like I'm just talking. So if do we have any questions in the chat before I talk about the 30-day challenge? I hope that made
Yes.
sense to everyone.
So yeah, definitely we can let them some do some kind of like uh, energetic kind of let's have fun together, like something.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm.
But does anyone have any questions about anything at all? No.
So everyone is feeling a little bit shy.
Don't be shy. You know what? It's pushing yourself out of the
Right.
comfort zone as well. Yeah, it's key. If you'd like, type in the chat or feel free to come off the camera.
Guys, this is a very, very important opportunities which we're getting from the native speaker from the UK. And most of the time, like, we are learning from I'm not saying like it's kind of uh, you know, like if you're learning from the native speaker and the person we're learning from Manipur, it's completely different. You'll get here, it's a world-class product, and as well as the world-class uh, you know the English communication kind of learning stuff which you'll be getting from Oscar Academy. And I'm so proud that I'm super proud of you, Sarah, that you're accepting us. And
Oh, you're welcome. I know it's a lot of me just talking today. Usually my workshops would be more interactive, but
right, right,
maybe you could share what you find most difficult about speaking in English.
right.
What do you find difficult? Is it pronunciation? Is it
Confidence,
understanding?
right,
Yeah, the confidence. Has anyone got any questions what they find difficult?
right. Sarah, let me add some you know in our own dialect. I'll just speak in Manipuri just for a short period of time. ꯃꯌꯥꯝꯅ English ꯉꯥꯡꯕ ꯃꯇꯝꯗ ꯈ꯭ꯋꯥꯏꯗꯒꯤ problem ꯂꯩꯕ number one ꯗ ꯁꯣꯝꯅ ꯉꯥꯡꯉꯤꯕ Englishꯁꯤꯒꯤ pronunciation ला problem ꯌꯥꯝ ꯂꯩꯁꯦ ꯑꯗ ꯑꯩꯅ ꯉꯥꯡꯖꯔꯤꯕ Englishꯁꯦ someone who can understand like what I'm talking about, and And third, it's all about confidence. Nangna ngangjariba English to like paabi type to somna ngangbira natraga just English ne na sum cham chamna ngangira adu somda problem leiba ko adugi problem do kamain torong asigi session ni da kamaina fix toni. We have to fix your problem. Aduna yargadi mayamna huzik leiba English ngangmo tamda heitriba adi English ngangmo tamda as ai English yam phajade thi adu to wida sa haibdo three C's do the accent the clarity ko the karamba and Sarah, one most important thing, like even me as well, I'm struggling when it comes to stretching the words, like which word it's gonna be the silent word and which word I'll be like the stretching word. If you can
The
explain a
stress
little bit
word.
more. Yeah,
Yeah, definitely. That's a really good question. We've got some questions in the chat, but I'll
yeah,
start with
please.
yours. I'll start with yours first. So yeah, it's the stressing, and it's actually really important. But in British English particularly, we stress the content words. So if we have my name is Sarah and
Hmm.
I am an English coach, the content words is are my, not my, name, Sarah, English coach. If you know grammar words, it's usually the nouns and the adjectives. So name, Sarah, English coach. They're the words that we stress. All those little words, my name is Sarah and I'm an English coach. Those little words we swallow. And that's why it's difficult to listen often to British speakers, especially if they have different accents. But once we tune into that rhythm, it can really help. And my key, if you're speaking and people don't understand, focus on those keywords, the content words. I'm from Macclesfield, which is a town in the UK. Where are you from? you know, so it's those words that we need to stress more.
Nice, nice.
When you stress a different word,
Hmm.
people get confused because they're waiting. We process the language in our brain through those stressed words. So when you say stress a different word, it sounds like a different sentence. So it's such an important thing. In terms of practicing this, a great tip is shadowing. So this is if you can find a speaker, maybe a TED talk. Do you know about TED talks? People do presentations, or maybe you have a podcaster that you really like listening to. And the shadowing technique is you play and you repeat. So you play their voice and you repeat in the same rhythm as them. Now, we're not training the accent, but we're focusing on the rhythm. So it's a really good exercise to do every day. Maybe you're on your own and you're listening to a podcast and copy what they say as they say it. It's a really, really, really useful technique. Other
Fantastic. Nice.
other daily practice tips. I think you need to do a bit of speaking every day. So it could be the pronunciation like that.
Hmm.
It could be just getting your phone. I have my well, have a phone here or something to record yourself and think, I'm just going to talk about what I did today. Okay, today I did a fantastic presentation for this amazing community and actually just recording yourself and listening back. And being aware of how you speak is going to help you to improve as well. Of course, it's good to practice with other people, but just being by yourself and putting your thoughts into words will help you to feel more fluent and therefore confident. So I hope that helps. We've got some more questions in the chat.
In the chat. Yeah.
So
So,
we've got
guys, if you have any questions, please drop down in the chat box. And also, this will help you in order to improve your English communication from today onwards. So, the reason why we're doing is we wanted to help you in order to speak a very good English when you talk with overseas in the UK or US, Sarah's here to help us in order to make you more fluent in the English, confidence and the clarity, whatever. Seize the
Yeah,
course.
thank you.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
when you share your problems, your questions, I can help you a lot better. The thing that I found is working with lots of different people is everyone has different areas they need to work on. So
right.
it's easier for me to respond to what you need. So we've
Mhm.
got, please excuse my pronunciation. We've got a question from Pulajit, who says, in an interview or a presentation, it is one of the interviewee's job to act bored, which eventually destroys one's confidence. Yes. How do we still keep up with the connection? That's a really good question. Often in job interviews, people don't want to show their emotion or give you any clues, right? I would say making a bit of small talk in the beginning helps with that, like I said. But actually, in the interview, it's some long term, it's building that inner confidence where it doesn't matter who you're speaking to, how they react, you still feel that confidence inside. Okay, so it's a long term goal.
Mhm.
And, you know, we can feel more intimidated in a job interview because it feels like they're in a higher position. But actually, when we think, okay, I'm just helping them to understand why I'm the best person for this job, we can feel more confident and it's a more of an equal relationship. But you said keep up with the connection. That's a very good point. I think often when people prepare for job interviews, they memorize answers, right?
Mm,
You just memorize, like, okay, you know they're going to say, tell me about yourself, so you memorize it. And then people can feel when you're just saying what you've memorized. We lose the expression and the feeling, so we lose that connection.
very
So
true.
so as I say, delivery is just as important as using the right grammar. So if you usually what I ask people to do with job interviews is, yes, prepare some answers, but don't rehearse it 100%. Have an idea, what do you want to say first, second, third, and then practice saying it in a more natural way. And also, it's connect to the feeling. So often in job interviews, you're asked, tell me about a time, da da da. Tell me about a time you solved a problem, or tell me about a time you, um, I don't know, a time you're really proud of, or a project you're really proud of. This is storytelling. So if you connect with how you felt at that time, so you're not just reciting it, the words, but you're feeling how you felt at the time, you're going to express it. So that's telling stories is a way of connecting with people as well. And it's something that we will do in the challenge, which I will talk about in a moment. I hope that helps.
Yeah,
But as you see, it's not
absolutely.
all about just the words that we say, it's how we say it. And we've got another question. I found it difficult in expressing myself both in writing and speaking. Yes. Now, I think they are connected, writing and speaking.
Right. It's from
Sometimes,
advice from Priya. Yeah.
yeah, yes, thank you, from Priya. Um, and I think maybe we've learned grammar rules, but it's how to apply them. The best writers in the world and the best speakers in the world, the best writers read a lot, and the best speakers listen to speakers. So really, this is it's the input that comes inside. So if you want to get better at writing, read more. Notice phrases that people use. Notice how they express themselves, how they structure certain things. We could go as simple as emails, writing emails. If you want to get better at writing emails, read people's emails. Yeah, if you've got emails from British clients or colleagues, or even just search on the internet, or even we can use ChatGPT to recreate some. And notice, what are the phrases that they use? Which of those can I use in my writing? And it will help to express yourself more naturally, in a more natural way. And the same with speaking. If you want to get better at presentations, watch more presentations. TED.com's great for presentations. Listen, notice how they structure, what words they use, what questions do they ask the audience, and practice. So part of the process that I use is getting examples, analyzing those examples, and then bringing them into our work, how we write, how we speak. Okay, lack of confidence. As I say, it's a daily habit. I think when I was younger, I was quite shy. I'm naturally quite a shy person and quiet. And even though I could do things, I didn't feel confident to tell everyone about it, you know? So I felt like that too, even in my first language, you know? And I think I always believed that people were either confident or they weren't confident. But it's simply not true. But at some point, everyone feels not confident. But the more you practice, the more you do it, and the more you push yourself outside your comfort zone, the confidence is built in that way. So it is a daily practice, you know, like going to the gym and building muscle, right? You don't just go to the gym once and that's it. We have to do it every day. And then we build the confidence just like we build the muscle. I hope that's
Very
helpful as
true.
well.
Right.
And I know as well, it isn't just practicing. You also need to know what you're doing is right. Are you being clear? So of course, studying rules, making sure, getting feedback is also useful as well. I'm sure you find that as well. So when you can give feedback to people on how to improve so they know what to work on, that's going to give you more confidence as well. Daily practice tips, like I said, listen every day, read as much as you can, and try to actually speak out loud. And maybe within the group, you can find somebody to practice with and think, okay, we will just meet for half an hour a day and we'll just speak English. And you might think, well, they're learning to, they're not a native speaker. It doesn't matter. Just having someone to build your confidence and fluency with is going to help you a lot. I have a group conversation club. So everyone's in the same position, but just being there and practicing putting their thoughts into words helps them to feel confident in the real world. So when they're at work and somebody asks them about something that's in the news, they're ready. They feel prepared to talk about anything. That's useful. Sana, you said uses of adverbs when I speak. Okay, there's lots of different kinds of adverbs. So adverbs, if we think about adverbs, they're describing actions. Okay, so, and there's like adverbs of frequency, adverbs of time. Um, but often we can use adverbs as what I like to call signposting words. Okay, so it shows you how your sentences and your ideas are related. For example, in order to feel more confident speaking, you should practice more and get feedback. Full stop. Additionally, you can listen and read every day. So additionally there is an adverb, but it's showing how those two sentences are connected. And using these connecting phrases and words is going to help you explain things more clearly. So again, it's something that I focus on, using signposting words. So I'm not, there's a lot we could talk about with adverbs, but at the core of it, adverbs describe verbs, actions. Okay, but it's another interesting point about signposting language. I hope that helps. Oh, look at this is citing Boboy. Apologies again for my pronunciation.
It's right.
It
It's right.
says
It's Boboy
Boboy,
Suram. Yeah.
Boboy,
Boboy.
Boboy Saram
Nice.
has a
Fantastic.
dream that one day he will speak on a TED Talk stage. Amazing. Currently, there's good signposting, by the way. Currently, I have a problem with confidence and shyness, so please suggest some tips. This that's amazing that you've got that goal. And remember, it's everyone who has ever been on a TED stage has felt like you at some point, I'm sure. It's a huge thing to be on a TED stage, but
Mhm.
it's working backwards from that goal. If you imagine running a marathon, okay, I can't run very well, but imagine one day I wanted to run the London Marathon. Yeah, it's a very long running race. I wouldn't just do it straight away. I would think, oh, there's no way. So I work backwards and I build up to it. So maybe a year before, 2 years before, I start doing little runs, and then maybe once a week, twice a week, half an hour, and we build up to that point. So what I would say to you, Boy, Saram, is to start small and push yourself every day to move outside your comfort zone. Maybe you could start by recording a video in English and posting it on social media. That's quite a big thing, actually, to be honest. But that's why I created this challenge, so we can push yourself in terms of the challenge. It could be a little video on social media, or I don't know what you do, but if you're a business owner, maybe within this group, if you're a member of the academy, maybe you could give a talk on something in front of people. I'm not sure. If you go to a networking event, talk about, stand up and talk about yourself in English. If you are, there's lots of business owners on here. There's lots of international business networking events that you can join online. So even just joining that and introducing yourself in English, saying who you are, where you're from, what you do, how you help people, and pushing yourself. And so we're working up. So it's starting small and building, and the confidence will come definitely. And finding those opportunities. It's all about pushing yourself outside the comfort zone. Okay. I next Upachandra. Upachandra. I really want
Perfect.
to talk.
You
Thank you.
pronounce
Oh,
perfect.
thank you.
Nice.
Really want to talk to new people, but I struggle to speak confidently. Yes, it's so common. And when I'm working with people here in the UK, and even their colleagues, sometimes they feel shy to speak to them because they think, oh, my English might not be right. I might make a mistake. It's shifting your mindset around that, because people aren't analyzing your mistakes. People want to get to know you. It does take time, but it's just thinking differently, shifting your perspective, focusing on what you want to say to that person. Yeah. And also being interested in that person. Maybe you could start by just asking them questions, asking questions so they lead the conversation and they speak more. But unfortunately, there's no overnight quick fix with confidence. It's just about putting yourself out into that situation and
Exactly.
doing it. But I have found this having this helping mindset,
Mm.
it takes your focus off you, because when you're thinking, oh, I'm going to make a mistake, I don't know how to say it, I'm not sure. When you stop thinking about you and you focus on somebody else, instantly you feel less self-conscious. You're focusing on that person, helping that person. When I work with business owners or people working with clients, they can feel that self-conscious. But when I was like, okay, just focus on helping them to solve their problem. That's what they want your help with. And most of the time, that's what they want to know. They just want to know your solution to their problem, or they want to know about you, not the grammar. That was a long answer, but I think it does take a shift in mindset, definitely. And I know if you don't feel confident even in your first language, like me, I used to be very shy and very worried about what people would think. So even if you feel like that in a second language, it can feel even harder as well. But shifting that perspective makes a huge difference. Sometimes I can't catch the conversation. What's the problem? Is it because I need to improve my listening skills or anything else? Yes. This is, I wouldn't say it's your listening skills, but also building vocabulary. So when you say conversation, it could be between maybe British people or native English speakers. So it could be listening skills. And the more that we listen, the easier that it becomes, right? And when you focus in on the stress and the rhythm, and you're aware of, okay, the words that are stressed are the important words, this does help as well. But I have to say, if it's native speaker speech and maybe in films or TV series, it could be the words that they use. Something that people here find difficult is the accent. Now, with the accent, it just takes time to tune in to different accents. Yeah, so when maybe at the beginning of this meeting, you weren't sure about my accent, you didn't understand. I hope with time, when you got used to the way that I speak, it was easier to understand me. I hope. I hope so. So this is another thing to consider, that there are different regional accents, even within the UK. So it does take time to tune into that. Listening to local radio stations really helps with tuning into accents. But also, it could be slang of the area or certain idioms. So, idioms, I don't know if you heard of the word idiom, but we have phrases that don't translate. So, for example, if something is an easy decision, you might say it's a no-brainer, right? We don't say it's an easy decision, we say it's a no-brainer. Now, if you translate that directly, it doesn't make sense and it can be quite confusing. But particularly in the UK, we use these kind of phrases all the time. So it's being more aware of those kind of phrases can help with your listening and help to follow the conversation. Another tip as well is, if you're finding it difficult to follow conversations, don't just listen to presentations or one person speaking. Listen to conversations, podcast interviews where it's back and forth, or reality TV programs are really good because it's very natural spoken English and people are having conversations. Uh, Most common mistakes beginners does do. There's a little mistake there. So beginners, if it's plural, we say beginners do.
Mm.
Um, Most common mistakes. I I think probably in terms of grammar, there's a few things, but we can talk about maybe another time. But
I think in the, yeah, when I just started, like the pronunciation, it's kind of worse,
mm,
Nobody understand what I'm talking about.
yeah, and I think with English as well, it's not phonetic.
Mm.
So what you read, sometimes it's completely different to how you say it,
Yeah.
right? There are patterns, but if you only read and write and never speak, you imagine how you say that word, but it's not always the right way.
Mm.
So this is probably the biggest mistake is not listening enough in the beginning. More
Agree.
listening in the beginning. Like imagine how babies learn to speak,
Right.
they're taking in all this information, they're hearing it all before they start to speak. So when it
Hmm.
comes to beginners, the more that you can listen, there's great little videos on YouTube, like listening to stories on YouTube, or not too advanced, but sort of a lower level, maybe beginner level, elementary, and listening as much as you can. So yeah, it's a great point because, as you said, so yeah, often it's the pronunciation which is the difficult part.
Yeah.
And clarity is most important. So if we can
Mm.
get clear pronunciation first, even if you don't speak in grammatically correct sentences, English is quite good that way. You can make grammar mistakes and we still understand quite
Mm.
easily. But pronunciation is important. We have another one, fear of speaking English, that as I said, just do it more,
Yeah.
and think about what can this help you do, right? You know, all the opportunities. Sometimes when you like, I can't remember his name now, but who's going to be on a TED stage, when you keep thinking about the future, where you want to be, imagining that vision and that goal can help you to stay motivated to keep going and keep pushing. But also do things that you enjoy. Was talk to your friends about subjects that you enjoy. If you enjoy cooking, talk about cooking. Listen to podcasts about cooking, read about cooking,
Hmm.
and build a more of a positive relationship with English. Joining clubs as well. I don't have I did have a free group, but it's on pause at the moment. Um, but we had people from around the world who were living in the UK, and people love to come along just to enjoy speaking English. It's not related to work or studies. It's just enjoying getting to know each other.
Mm.
So I'm sure there's lots of conversation clubs you can join online. There's a great, I don't know if you use meetup.com.
Yeah.
I'm just conscious of time. So is this, are we,
Yeah, I
are we
think
okay?
I think most of the questions which I see here, it's almost the same thing. They have to do it more. They have to listen more instead of speaking. And I think, how can I improve the clarity of the word when I speak in English, man? Sarah, can we just answer this, the last one, and so that we can explain the 30-day challenge? Like
Yes, of course.
for Bijoy, Ningtozam Bijoy Singh. Like, how can I improve the clarity of the words when I speak in English? I think you have to practice.
Yeah, practice more. And when I mentioned before about the shadowing technique, finding a speaker, it could be British or American, that you like listening to, you like the sound of their voice, and copying, you
Mm.
know, repeating. It helps you to exercise the muscles.
Right.
So we're sort of molding our mouth because there's different sounds in English to the first language. So we have to mold the language. Um, just one question about grammar. Is grammar very important? It's finding a balance. Okay, grammar is important because it helps you to communicate more precisely. However, if you make a few mistakes, it it's okay.
Mm.
Don't worry. So it's finding a balance because I find if you speak with no grammar, you just say words and you don't think about the structure, that's not going to be clear.
Mm.
But if you don't speak because you think I need to be perfect, then this isn't good either. Okay, so it's finding the balance between, yes, focusing on structure of what you say, but at the same time, don't worry so much that you don't speak. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Shall I?
now, yeah, I
Mhm.
think everything we cover up all the questions and answer. So ladies and gentlemen, I'll give you two pills. The one is the red pills, and the other one is the green pills. So in Oscar Academy, if you wanted to select the red pills, you have to do it yourself. But if you really wanted to do the green, if you really wanted to take the green pills, then you have to listen this very, very carefully from now onwards. So, ladies and gentlemen, can I just take at least like 10 minutes of your time if you can focus in this? And this is the most important part of this webinar because I would like to share. It's been like almost more than a month. Even I'm sick in the hospital. I'm not well, and here and there. So, so it's a very high time as the people of from India, especially in the state of Manipur, if you can communicate in English with a very confident, very clarity, and also learning from the native speaker, I think this is the high time you have to give time in this particular uh, slide. So, Sarah, this is your stage, and I'm giving you everything. Let's do it.
Okay, okay. So I just want to tell you a bit more about the 30-day challenge. So I'm really excited to run this challenge. Let me find the day. Okay, so this is just on my slide, but you have the visuals as well.
Yeah.
This is based because I know so many people want to feel more confident, but they don't know what to focus on. Where do I focus on the grammar? How do I practice? What do I need to do? So this is why this is designed to help you to create a plan, to understand what are the best practices for your problems, what you want to develop and focus on. You'll also have chance to get feedback on your skills because that's so important, right? If you can speak and I can give you feedback and tell you what to focus on is going to help the process be a lot more efficient as well. So I created this 30-day challenge to push you out of your comfort zone, to start to communicate more clearly and to have a clear plan of what you need to do, what you need to focus on to achieve your goals in the future.
Nice.
So these are the things that you will get. You're going to create your own personalized learning plan. So you're going to think about where do I want to go? And then we're going to go through all the activities you need to do on a daily basis in order to reach that point. So by the end of the 30 days, you will have that plan to work on for the next 90 days, whatever, to build the confidence. We're also looking at pronunciation, vocabulary, and grammar. So you've asked about some of these areas. So I'm specifically focusing on people from Manipur, people who speak Manipuri.
Right.
What, yeah, the kind of pronunciation difficulties that you might have, the mispronunciation or where you might not be clear. Same
Mm.
with vocabulary and with the most common grammar mistakes as well. So as well as looking at those most common mistakes and the key things you need to adapt to be clear, I'll also help you to learn methods in order to develop in the future as well. As I said at the beginning, I'm a neurolanguage coach, so it's all about how does the brain learn. So we'll be giving you brain-friendly activities. So when I mean brain-friendly, it works with how the brain learns. So it's going to be a lot more efficient. You're going to get results more quickly. As I said, you'll get personalized feedback on your skills. So we'll have a community group. Each week there's a task where you record yourself and I will give you personalized feedback. What you're doing
Fantastic.
well and what you need to work on. So it gives you so much clarity of what to work on moving forward.
Mm.
And of course, at the end, you'll have done all of these tasks. So you will speak English with more clarity and more confidence, and you'll have a direction. You'll know what to work on to just get better and better and improve. In terms of the structure, we've got 2 strategy workshops. Now, by strategy, I mean like the practice activities, the plan, what you need to do, and then language skills workshops, which is where we focus on the
Mm.
the practice activities, and the most common mistakes. In the final week, we'll have a feedback workshop. So from all the questions that you've asked, all the feedback that I've given, I will go over the most common mistakes and the most common areas that you guys as a group will need to work on. Yeah, as I said, you know, people come with different problems, but within
Right.
this group, we'll be really focused on what you need. And therefore, speaking tasks or speaking challenges where you will record yourself. And I'll give you feedback in the community. Now, the speaking task is good because it's a way to push yourself outside your comfort zone, but it will be a safe space, a safe community with people just like you in the same situation. So it's a great place to start building the confidence. Week one, I'll just go through the content for each week. So we're on the foundations and our first impressions. So it's
Nice.
two workshops per week. The first one is all about the plan. I'll give you a template to create your plan, and we'll look at mindset. So what are the mindset shifts we need to really make progress? Like one of the examples is, having that helping mindset is really going to help you build confidence. So we'll look at some of the most common shifts. And then workshop two, I mentioned how I help people sound confident. So we're going to look at how to speak with authority. And a part of that, you're going to create your own 60-second pitch. So it's like a 60-second introduction about yourself. And we're really going to look at how you can use your voice. Part of this is the rhythm. We'll look at the rhythm, pausing, speed, to really speak with authority and get people's attention. And your challenge will be to record your 60-second introduction and put it in the group.
Mm.
And I will give you feedback in the group. Week two is about practice and pronunciation. So workshop one is more strategy. It's about understanding how the brain learns and brain-friendly learning techniques. Okay, so really being clear on that. The practices, I like to do things efficiently. So the small things that will make a big difference. Workshop two is all about pronunciation, common pronunciation problems that I've maybe noticed already from the feedback and how you can correct them. And of course, activities that you can do to practice pronunciation. And then the challenge that week, you're going to tell me a story. So I talked about how storytelling is a great way to connect with people.
Mm.
So if you can tell me a story about an experience or a challenge or a client that you met, when we're able to tell stories, we can connect with people. So we've got connection.
Nice.
It doesn't have to be too long, don't worry. Just a
Mhm.
short story. Week three, we're going to go in on those language skills. So vocabulary and grammar mastery. Of
Nice.
course, I can't teach you all the vocabulary in the world or all the grammar in just one workshop.
Mhm.
But we'll go into how you can learn the words that you will need, let's say, okay, the
Mhm.
most important words that you need, and also how you can activate vocabulary. People tell me that they know lots of words, but when it comes to speaking, they they just can't think of them and they use very simple sentences or simple words. So we'll look at how you can practice in order to activate. And the same with grammar as well. Most common mistakes, how to correct them, and also how to improve your spoken grammar, but not worry too much that you don't speak.
Mm.
And you're going to share your goals for the future. So we're going to get inspirational. Think about the future. Where do you want to go with
Mm.
your English?
Nice.
So you'll get feedback in the group.
Very
And
nice.
the final week is a bit of a catch-up week because I know maybe you didn't have time to do all the tasks on time and give you feedback. It will also give you time to integrate everything that you've learned, all those practice techniques, and put it into your plan. So you'll have a 90-day plan. And from all the workshops we looked at and all the reflection and my feedback, you'll know what you want to work on. So maybe you have lots of feedback about pronunciation. So you think, okay, I'm going to do these activities for the next 90 days to develop my pronunciation, etc. So it will be, you will write your plan, and then we'll have one final workshop where I will bring together all of the feedback, the common mistakes, and my advice for you as a group, as a challenge group. And you can ask any final questions, and you can have a final challenge. Integrate
Mhm.
everything that we've talked about into a final video where you can share your reflections about the challenge and your plan for the future. So it's a little bit of everything. We're pushing yourself out of your comfort zone so you can build confidence, but learning the skills that are going to really help you make progress, and also giving the tools to continue if you want by yourself, but you have a plan on how to develop in the future.
Very
And that,
nice.
and that is it. That is me.
Awesome. Awesome.
I know I've talked a lot.
So
Do you have
sorry to
anything you?
interrupt.
Yes.
Okay, sorry to interrupt you, Sarah and Dasur. I just have a quick question regarding something that I want to know really bad. And first of all, I have heard a lot about you, Sarah, in our team meeting, and I'm also a core member of Aksur Academy under the mentorship of our beloved Toksam Prumangol Singh. So I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart
Oh, you're very welcome.
for standing up for us and teaching us and improving our English speaking styles and pronunciation. So I really thank you so much. But coming to our point, I'm a sales leader or teacher kind of stuff in our Aksur Academy. And within my team, I have a member of 30 team members. So I'm targeting for them to work internationally with international clients and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
what can, as an home assignment or homework, what can I give them at the very beginning of this sales pitch challenge or stuff like that by speaking English? So what would you suggest me regarding this?
So activities for your team to do. Is that what you
Yeah.
mean? And
Uh-huh.
what do you want your team to do? Are they selling? Are they
Yeah,
solving
so
problems?
Yeah.
basically, okay, so let me explain in a deep way that so here's what they do every single day. Grayson, he is my sales head in Arthur Academy. So what we do every single day is they're doing a challenge like 30 days sales challenge. And
Mhm.
also what he really wants is the person which he's training right now in this 30-day challenge for sales training, which they already did that.
Yeah,
And
I
they
see.
wanted to get international client, let's say from UK or from US. And so what kind of tips or what kind of assignment which they can do every single day so that they can improve their English communication in order to
Yeah.
get the client from the UK or from the US.
Yes,
Exactly.
I see.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Dasu.
Yeah, thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah.
Probably if we think clarity first, clarity number one, and probably pronunciation will be the main point. No, so that shadowing technique is really useful. So getting them to repeat and after, so listen and repeat is really going to help with the pronunciation.
Mm.
So I think pronunciation is often the first thing. The first thing. So that would be the first thing, and maybe saying what they want to say, but recording themselves and listening back and evaluating.
Mm.
One of the most powerful exercises that I do with clients is getting them to record themselves, listen back. And they, at first, they tell me, I hate it. I don't want to listen to myself. But if you get them to listen back, what do you do well? What could you improve? and being really aware of how they're using language and what they're saying every day is going to help. Often when you listen back, you might think, oh, maybe I don't sound so happy or
Right.
interested or very monotone. Something that happens when you're nervous is you become very monotone, you know, and you don't have any expression. And when they're more aware of that and building expression, you know, into their voice is going to catch people's attention a lot more. Does that help? Do you have?
Yeah.
So I do think clarity is the pronunciation is probably the first.
So the first thing what they can do is number one is the shadowing. Like they have to listen someone who speak very good English and they have to
Mm.
do the shadow stuff in
I
front of the mirror or I don't know, like
Yeah, something like that in front of the mirror is good as well. Getting used to how you're saying the words, it does help. I think yeah, that recording yourself, listening back will
yeah,
be really
and
useful.
and the second thing is they have to record their own voice so that they can understand like how they talk so that they can see that they're, I don't know, like what's it call this? Like my voice is crap right now. I need to improve every single day. Even me, I had myself like listening my voice too.
Me too. We all do. It's natural, but it's really useful to
But your
prepare.
voice sounds so fantastic. It's really
Oh,
great to
well,
hear.
well, thank you. That's very kind of you. Yeah, and I think I don't know if people have scripts with the sales. It's do they write what they want to say first? Do you have a script?
Yeah, as of now, I didn't provide the script yet because
Mm.
for me, like, yeah, we have a framework in order to pitch the client. That we have a framework like how to pitch the client. But yeah, definitely I'm gonna write the scripts for the sales as well.
But all I would say with it, because sometimes with scripts, it sounds, you know, like when you memorize your answers in a job interview, it can
Mhm.
feel flat and rehearsed. So maybe just having a few key phrases to remind them what to say. And like you said, a framework, a structure of
Yeah,
what you
yeah,
want to
yeah.
say.
The structure
So
where they
it's
can
more
possible. Yeah. First, opening. Second, we gotta understand the reason their pen problem. And third,
mm,
we need to provide the solution, what they really want. And last, we need to pitch this as a price.
exactly. And you can help me with that as well.
Yeah. So yeah,
But
let's rock and roll. And we're coming in the UK.
yeah,
So
so
we are training more people in the state of Manipur right now. And I'm gonna ask each and every one in this particular webinar, which is currently joining right now. Can I give you at least one offer to each and every one? ꯃꯌꯥꯝꯗ offer ꯑꯃꯈꯛꯇꯪ ꯑꯩ ꯄꯤꯖꯒꯦ ꯃꯌꯥꯝ ꯌꯥꯕ꯭ꯔꯣ? Can I offer you at least one from my bottom of my heart? That should be a green pills.
the
If
green
if
pill,
you
I need to
want,
remember that.
yeah, green pills means something which is red. Red is something danger, right? I don't wanna go in red. I want to give you a green pills. If you are ready, or if you are, accept me to offer this, please type on the comment. Let's rock and roll. RR. ꯃꯌꯥꯝꯗ ꯀꯣ ꯑꯩ ꯑꯣꯐꯔ ꯑꯃꯇꯪ ꯄꯤꯖꯒꯦ ꯑꯗꯣ ꯃꯌꯥꯝꯅ ꯁꯤꯒꯤ ꯑꯣꯐꯔꯁꯦ ꯄꯥꯝ ꯇꯥꯔꯒꯗꯤ type on the comment RR, meaning let's rock and roll.
Love
So,
it.
ladies and gentlemen, see, it's a very, very simple. When I just started learning in English, I learned from the YouTube. It doesn't mean that I know everything. No, I have a teacher, I have a mentor who taught me like how to speak English. Without a teacher, you have a very long way if you really wanted to learn English. In just 30 days challenge with Sarah, learn or speak English with confidence. ꯁꯤꯗꯩꯁꯤꯗ ꯃꯌꯥꯝꯅ 30 days ꯈꯤꯇꯪ ꯀꯣ ꯁꯣꯝꯅ ꯅꯍꯥꯟꯗꯒꯤ ꯇꯝꯖꯔꯛꯄ ꯏꯪꯂꯤꯁ ꯑꯃꯗꯤ ꯀꯣ ꯐꯣꯔꯦꯅꯔꯗꯒꯤ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯅ ꯄꯨꯖꯔꯛꯑꯒ ꯃꯅꯤꯄꯨꯔꯒꯤꯗꯃꯛꯇ ꯀꯥꯟꯅꯅꯤꯅ ꯁꯤ ꯌꯥꯝ ꯊꯤꯅꯁꯨ ꯚꯦꯂꯨꯕꯜ ꯑꯣꯏꯅꯤ. Never before in the history of Manipur, someone from the overseas, from the UK, we're gonna teach you the real English, how to speak, how you communicate. Not only that, hangway international client UKꯗ ꯑꯣꯏꯒꯦꯔꯥ USꯗ ꯑꯣꯏꯒꯦꯔꯥ ꯑꯗꯨꯗ ꯅꯪ ꯀꯃꯥꯏꯅ communicate ꯇꯧꯗꯣꯏꯅꯣ that once you get an international client, I promise you that will change your entire career. Even me as well, when I just started, my English is the worst. I'm the I'm so bad at my English, really, really bad. Even now as well. The but from today onwards, ngasidagidi we have our coach Sarah. The mana help tawnsebako. Haji tha among pullaga masudum yaudino. Sir, I'm sure, pretty much sure, we will create a group either in our community, like a mobile application, as well as we have a WhatsApp group, so that we'll deliver, over deliver whatever we teach, so that they can speak English and you will love it as well. When your students speak a very good English, uh, you'll feel very, very happy as well. And I promise you, you'll be the first person in the state of Manipur who taught us an English from UK. So,
Amazing.
mayam, sige
We're very
price.
privileged.
Yeah, and thank you for giving us time. And aduga, mayam, what do you expect about this price? Please type on the comment. Sige English courses. Sorry, can we do from 9th of June or 16th the next week, or what do you think?
I was going to say 9th of June.
9th of June. Okay.
Is that okay?
Okay, let's just see from what the students are talking
Okay,
about.
I might have to change something, but yes.
Yeah, we'll
Let's
do
see.
that. So laiba 9 June Monday numitki aduga ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯒꯤ 60 days ꯑꯗꯒꯤ 90x ꯃꯌꯥꯝ ꯂꯩ ꯇꯧꯒꯗꯕꯨ ꯑꯗꯨꯁꯨ ꯇꯧꯅꯤ ꯄ꯭ꯂꯁ 30 days ꯑꯃꯈꯛꯇꯪꯗꯤ ꯑꯩ ꯃꯌꯥꯝꯗ ꯏꯪꯂꯤꯁꯁꯦ ꯐꯖꯅ ꯇꯝꯍꯟꯅꯤꯡꯉꯦ ꯑꯗꯨꯅ ꯍꯧꯖꯤꯛ 90x ꯂꯣꯏꯔꯛꯇꯣꯔꯦ 60 days 60 days almost ꯂꯣꯏꯔꯕꯒꯨꯝꯕꯅꯤ ꯅꯨꯃꯤꯠ 7ꯅꯤꯃꯨꯛꯇꯪ ꯉꯥꯏꯔꯦ ꯁꯤꯗꯩꯁꯤꯗ ꯐ꯭ꯌꯨꯆꯔꯗ ꯏꯟꯇꯔꯅꯦꯁꯅꯦꯜ ꯀ꯭ꯂꯥꯏꯟꯒꯨꯝꯕ ꯄꯥꯏꯒꯦ ꯍꯥꯏꯔꯛꯄ ꯃꯇꯝꯗ ꯏꯪꯂꯤꯁ ꯁꯣꯏ ꯍꯩꯇ꯭ꯔꯒꯗꯤ ꯅꯪ ꯎꯄꯥꯏ ꯁꯨꯡꯂꯩ ꯂꯩꯇꯦ ꯑꯗꯨꯒ sigi price so mayamna feel tawba how much do you think this English challenge ni ko mayam challenge tawdune so please type on the comment price kya piram do mangi just think about it let's see on the comment 5k or 15k 2k okay just drop mayam su loima thadabro okay 10k or 15k okay 4k 4k okay 5k 3k 5k okay any lucky number we don't see it so far okay it's worth 25k 5k 7,000 79k 2500 5k okay 6k 7k 4,999 okay so ma'am the a offers a haijarage ma'am 15,000 p deko 10,000 zu p deko it's not about 15,000. It's not about 10,000. It's not about 5,000. It's not about 4,999. Lupa lising mga supide, lupa lising tara supide, lupa lising ahum supide, ani supide, lising amma supide. What are you expecting for? Captain no wala. Ma'am, aduna sigi offer se ay ma'am da hairageba UK da oitargadi UK gi pounds da hargeba 1 pounds equals 116 Indian rupees right now. Google the type to 1 pounds is equal to 116 Indian rupees right now. But what we charge, adu ma'am, loina kaktat karagana 30 days ko Sarah koi English padana tamhouseba nahangai koina school da college da adagi PhD scholar ma'am English ngamai ta ma'am le adu niyom chumna pasana ko numit kunthra ma pasana ko somna heitriba English ngangningiba English ko native speaker amaga pasana loinaraga ko sigi mahau mai noida pigeba ko aina phangkiba mahau foreigners mꯌꯥꯝ ꯑꯃ ꯄꯨꯜꯂꯛꯄ ꯃꯣꯏꯒꯤ ꯃꯥꯏꯟꯁꯦꯠ ꯃꯣꯏ ꯀꯃꯥꯏꯅ ꯂꯥꯏꯔꯤꯛ ꯇꯝꯃꯤ ꯋꯥꯔꯜ ꯀ꯭ꯂꯥꯁ ꯄ꯭ꯔꯗꯛ ꯀꯩꯁꯦ ꯅꯣꯏ ꯈꯤꯇꯪ ꯇꯆ ꯇꯧꯍꯟꯅꯤꯡꯉꯤ ꯈꯨꯠꯅ ꯃꯅꯤꯄꯨꯔꯗ ꯁꯨꯝ ꯁꯨꯡꯖꯤꯜꯂꯒꯅꯦ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏ ꯃꯁꯦꯟꯗꯩ ꯇꯝꯅꯕ ꯅꯠꯇꯕ ꯃꯄꯥꯟꯗ ꯀꯃꯥꯏꯅ ꯇꯧꯏ ꯃꯄꯥꯟꯒꯤ ꯂꯝꯅ ꯀꯃꯥꯏꯅ ꯇꯥꯛꯏ ꯀ꯭ꯂꯥꯁ ꯇꯧꯒꯦꯔꯥ ꯑꯗꯒꯤ ꯃꯤꯅ ꯄ꯭ꯔꯦꯛꯇꯤꯀꯦꯜꯂꯤ ꯑꯣꯏꯅ ꯇꯥꯛꯂꯛꯄ ꯌꯥꯝ ꯈꯦꯠꯅꯕꯅꯦ ꯃꯌꯥꯝ ꯌꯨ ꯋꯤꯜ ꯐꯤꯜ ꯗ ꯗꯤꯐ꯭ꯔꯦꯟꯁ ꯅꯣꯏ ꯃꯅꯤꯄꯨꯔꯗꯒꯤ ꯏꯪꯂꯤꯁ ꯇꯝꯕ ꯐꯠꯇꯦ ꯍꯥꯏꯕꯗꯤ ꯇꯝꯃꯨ ꯀꯩꯁꯨ ꯀꯥꯏꯗꯦ international ꯊꯥꯛꯀ ꯂꯣꯀꯦꯜꯒꯁꯦ ꯐꯖꯅ ꯈꯦꯠꯅꯕꯅꯦ ꯀꯣ you will feel the difference between an international product and a local product. It's a huge difference. So I wanted to feel the experience of the international challenge or product, the way they teach you. ꯑꯗꯣ ꯁꯤꯗꯩꯁꯤꯗ ꯍꯌꯦꯡꯋꯥꯏ ꯅꯣꯏ ꯁꯃꯨꯗ꯭ꯔ ꯑꯆꯧꯕꯗꯒꯤ ꯇꯝꯃꯛ ꯇꯥꯔꯒꯗꯤ ꯍꯌꯦꯡꯋꯥꯏ ꯄꯨꯈ꯭ꯔꯤ ꯃꯆꯥꯗꯅꯦ ꯃꯅꯤꯄꯨꯔꯗ ꯄꯨꯈ꯭ꯔꯤ ꯃꯆꯥ ꯊꯦꯡꯅꯕ ꯆꯞ ꯃꯥꯟꯅꯩ ꯑꯗꯨꯅ ꯃꯌꯥꯝ ꯑꯩꯁꯨ ꯃꯄꯥꯟꯗꯒꯤ ꯇꯧꯔꯛꯄꯅꯤꯅ ꯃꯅꯤꯄꯨꯔꯗ ꯆꯪꯉꯛꯄꯗ ꯑꯩ ꯀꯔꯤꯝ ꯀꯤꯗꯦꯕ ꯀꯣ ꯍꯥꯟꯅꯒꯤ ꯑꯍꯩꯕ ꯃꯌꯥꯝ ꯑꯃ ꯂꯩꯔꯝꯒꯅꯤ ꯀꯣ we don't care ꯆꯍꯤ ꯑꯃ ꯑꯅꯤꯁꯤꯗ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏ ꯂꯣꯏ ꯊꯦꯡꯒꯥꯏꯅꯔꯛꯏꯗꯨꯗꯤ ꯃꯣꯏꯅ ꯁꯨꯝ ꯄꯨꯈ꯭ꯔꯤ ꯃꯆꯥꯗ ꯂꯩꯔꯝꯕꯅꯦꯕ ꯀꯣ ꯑꯗꯨ ꯑꯣꯏꯇꯥꯔꯒꯗꯤ ꯅꯍꯥꯛꯁꯨ ꯀꯣ ꯃꯄꯥꯟ ꯊꯣꯛꯑꯒ ꯇꯝꯕ ꯑꯃ ꯗꯔꯀꯥꯔ ꯑꯣꯏꯕ꯭ꯔꯥ ꯑꯣꯏꯗꯕ꯭ꯔꯥ ꯅꯪꯉꯣꯟꯗ ꯏꯟꯚꯦꯁ ꯇꯧꯕꯗꯣ ꯃꯌꯥꯝ ꯀꯣꯃꯦꯟꯇ ꯑꯝꯇ ꯏꯕꯤꯌꯣ ꯖꯁ ꯌꯦꯁ ꯑꯣꯔ ꯅꯣ ꯀꯣ ꯅꯪꯅ ꯁꯨꯝ ꯅꯍꯥꯟꯗꯒꯤ ꯇꯝꯃꯝꯃꯤꯕ ꯄꯣꯠꯇꯣ ꯅꯪ ꯏꯃꯨꯡ ꯑꯃꯗ ꯁꯨꯝ ꯇꯝꯖꯔꯝꯕꯅꯦꯕ international ꯄ꯭ꯔꯗꯛꯀꯨꯝꯕ ꯅꯪ ꯍꯦꯟꯅꯁꯨ ꯅꯪ ꯏꯝꯄ꯭ꯔꯨꯚ ꯑꯣꯏꯗꯣꯏꯅꯦꯕ ꯑꯗꯣ ꯁꯤꯗꯩꯁꯤꯗ ꯄꯩꯁꯥ ꯍꯥꯏꯔꯦ ꯁꯤꯒꯤ ꯄꯩꯁꯥꯁꯤꯗꯤ ꯖꯁ ꯀꯣ ꯅꯪ ꯆꯤꯀꯟ ꯀꯤꯂꯣ ꯑꯃ ꯀꯤꯂꯣ ꯑꯍꯨꯝ ꯃꯔꯤ ꯅꯠꯇ꯭ꯔꯒ ꯆꯥꯛ ꯑꯃ ꯆꯥꯅꯕꯗ ꯑꯗꯨꯝ ꯂꯣꯏꯅꯤ ꯑꯗꯣ can you spend ꯅꯁꯥꯗ ꯏꯟꯚꯦꯁ ꯇꯧꯕꯗꯤ ꯌꯥꯕ꯭ꯔꯕ ꯃꯤꯉꯣꯟꯗ ꯅꯠꯇꯕ ꯅꯪꯒꯤ ꯏꯪꯂꯤꯁ ꯍꯩꯇ꯭ꯔꯤꯗꯣ ꯅꯪꯅ ꯀꯝꯃꯨꯅꯤꯀꯦꯁꯟ ꯐꯖꯅ ꯍꯩꯇ꯭ꯔꯤꯕ ꯄ꯭ꯔꯣꯅꯟꯁꯤꯌꯦꯁꯟ ꯍꯩꯇ꯭ꯔꯤꯕ ꯑꯗꯒꯤ ꯏꯪꯂꯤꯁ ꯉꯥꯡꯕꯗ ꯀꯤꯔꯤꯕ ꯑꯗꯩ ꯃꯤꯅ ꯏꯪꯂꯤꯁ ꯉꯥꯡꯕꯗ ꯒ꯭ꯌꯥꯟ ꯇꯥꯗ꯭ꯔꯤꯕ ꯀꯣ ꯑꯗꯨꯒꯤꯗꯣ ꯁꯦꯔꯥꯗꯒꯤ ꯐꯖꯅ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏ ꯇꯝꯕꯁꯤ ꯂꯦꯠꯁ ꯂꯔꯟ ꯁꯔꯥꯒꯤ ꯌꯥꯝ ꯐꯖꯕ ꯑꯃ ꯂꯩꯕꯅꯦ ꯁꯔ ꯂꯦꯠꯁ ꯗꯨ ꯏꯠ
Let's do it.
ꯂꯦꯠꯁ ꯗꯨ ꯏꯠ ꯀꯣ
Rock and roll.
ꯂꯦꯠꯁ ꯔꯣꯛ ꯑꯦꯟ ꯔꯣꯜ ꯀꯣ ꯑꯗꯨꯅ just for 3499 ꯀꯣ ꯂꯤꯁꯤꯡ ꯑꯍꯨꯝꯒ ꯂꯨꯄꯥ ꯆꯥꯝꯃꯉꯥ ꯍꯥꯏꯇꯥꯔꯦꯅꯦꯀꯣ ꯅꯪꯅ ꯄꯥꯝꯗ꯭ꯔꯦꯗꯅ 30 days ꯅꯪ ꯐꯖꯅ ꯇꯝꯃꯣ ꯅꯪꯅ ꯄꯥꯝꯗ꯭ꯔꯦꯗꯅ ꯅꯪꯒꯤ ꯄꯩꯁꯥꯗꯣ ꯁꯔꯥꯒꯤꯗꯤ ꯑꯗꯨꯝ ꯑꯩ ꯄꯤꯐꯝ ꯊꯣꯛꯄ ꯄꯤꯈ꯭ꯔꯅꯤꯕ ꯑꯩ ꯍꯟꯗꯣꯛꯀꯦ ꯌꯥꯔꯕ ꯅꯪꯅ 30 days ꯑꯃꯁꯨ ꯇꯝꯃꯣ ꯁꯥꯔ ꯑꯩꯉꯣꯟꯗ ꯀꯥꯟꯅꯗꯦ ꯑꯩ ꯄꯥꯝꯗ꯭ꯔꯦ just call our team I'll refund your money 100% guarantee but I wanted to feel the experience of how international people were gonna teach you this a very solid product which we will be launching in June 9 in 8 p.m. Indian Standard Time. UK should be 3 p.m. right, sir?
Yes, 3:30 UK time.
3:30.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also, ma'am, hangbirese recording so you will get for 1 year recording. Sida kay pangni. Number one, you'll get 30-day challenge with Sarah. Hida ay su yauni ko ay wife su yauni Sarah. My wife will be joining too as well. And ko ay family they su mi taruk yawani. In my family, I have some brother and sister who love to join these classes from my family. 6 people, including my wife, will also join it, including me as well. I'll join it. I would love to learn the 30-day challenge with you. ꯑꯗꯨꯒ ꯃꯌꯥꯝꯁꯨ ꯀꯣ ꯍꯥꯏꯗꯤ ꯌꯥꯎꯕꯤꯌꯣ ꯁꯤꯗꯅꯦ ꯅꯪꯅ ꯇꯝꯖꯔꯕ ꯃꯇꯨꯡꯗ ꯄꯩꯁꯥ ꯍꯟꯗꯣꯛꯑꯣ ꯍꯥꯏꯔꯁꯨ ꯍꯥꯏꯕꯤꯌꯣꯕꯀꯣ ꯑꯗꯨꯗ ꯑꯩ ꯍꯟꯗꯣꯛꯆꯒꯦꯕ ꯁꯣꯝꯅ this is my commitment to you ꯑꯩ ꯅꯪꯗꯣ ꯌꯥꯝ ꯍꯩꯍꯟꯅꯤꯡꯕꯒꯤ ꯀꯣ ꯁꯨꯝ ꯃꯩꯇꯩ ꯃꯆꯥ ꯃꯔꯛꯇ ꯁꯨꯝ ꯇꯝꯕꯗꯣ ꯑꯗꯨꯒꯤ ꯃꯍꯨꯠꯇ ꯈꯤꯇꯪ ꯃꯄꯥꯟꯗꯩꯁꯨ ꯑꯅꯧꯕ ꯐ꯭ꯂꯦꯕꯔꯁ ꯑꯃ ꯑꯅꯧꯕ ꯃꯍꯩ ꯂꯧꯁꯤꯡ ꯒ꯭ꯌꯥꯟ ꯃꯄꯥꯟꯗ ꯇꯧꯅꯔꯤꯁꯤꯁꯨ ꯈꯔ ꯎꯍꯟꯅꯤꯡꯗꯅ ꯑꯥꯁꯨ ꯑꯦꯀꯥꯗꯃꯤ ꯃꯅꯨꯡꯗ ꯑꯩ ꯄꯨꯁꯜꯂꯛꯄꯅꯦꯕ ꯑꯗꯨꯅ ꯃꯌꯥꯝ ꯁꯤꯗꯩꯁꯤꯗ ꯈꯤꯇꯪ ꯑꯩ ꯊꯃꯣꯏꯗꯒꯤ ꯑꯩꯅ ꯍꯥꯏꯔꯤꯁꯤꯅꯦ ꯑꯩ ꯌꯥꯝ ꯇꯝꯍꯟꯅꯤꯡꯉꯤ ꯀꯣ ꯑꯦꯁ ꯃꯥꯏ ꯁ꯭ꯇꯨꯗꯦꯟ ꯏꯟꯇꯔꯅꯦꯁꯅꯦꯜ ꯊꯣꯛꯂꯛꯄ ꯃꯇꯝꯗ ꯏꯪꯂꯤꯁ ꯉꯥꯡꯕ ꯍꯩꯇ꯭ꯔꯒꯗꯤ ꯅꯪ ꯁꯣꯏ ꯑꯣꯏꯔꯣꯏ ꯊꯥꯖꯧ ꯅꯪ ꯐꯅ ꯃꯥꯔꯀꯦꯇꯤꯡ ꯍꯩꯁꯅꯨ ꯃꯄꯥꯟ ꯊꯣꯛꯅꯔꯛꯄ ꯃꯇꯝꯗꯅꯦ ꯑꯥꯏꯗꯔ ꯍꯤꯟꯗꯤ ꯑꯣꯔ ꯏꯪꯂꯤꯁ ꯕꯠ ꯏꯪꯂꯤꯁꯁꯤꯗꯤ ꯏꯠꯁ ꯑ ꯚꯦꯔꯤ ꯀꯃꯟ ꯂꯦꯡꯒ꯭ꯋꯦꯖ ꯑꯦꯀ꯭ꯔꯣꯁ ꯗ ꯒ꯭ꯂꯣꯕ ꯁꯤꯗꯤ ꯌꯨꯅꯤꯚꯔꯁꯦꯜ ꯂꯦꯡꯒ꯭ꯋꯦꯖꯅꯦ ꯅꯪ ꯍꯩꯔꯤꯈꯩ ꯑꯣꯄꯣꯔꯆꯨꯅꯤꯇꯤꯁ ꯍꯦꯟꯒꯠꯂꯛꯀꯅꯤ ꯀ꯭ꯂꯥꯏꯟꯒꯤ ꯑꯣꯄꯣꯔꯆꯨꯅꯤꯇꯤꯁ ꯍꯥꯏꯇꯥꯔꯗꯤ ꯌꯨ ꯑꯦꯁꯇ ꯑꯣꯏꯒꯦꯔꯥ ꯌꯨ ꯀꯦꯗ ꯑꯣꯏꯒꯦꯔꯥ ꯑꯁꯇ꯭ꯔꯦꯂꯤꯌꯥ ꯑꯣꯏꯒꯦꯔꯥ ꯀꯦꯅꯦꯗꯥ ꯑꯣꯏꯒꯦꯔꯥ ꯑꯩ ꯂꯣꯏꯅꯃꯛ ꯋꯔꯛ ꯇꯧꯔꯛꯑꯦ ꯀꯣ 6 white countries including New Zealand ꯑꯗꯣ ꯑꯩ ꯏꯪꯂꯤꯁ ꯉꯥꯡꯕ ꯍꯩꯇ꯭ꯔꯒꯗꯤ ꯑꯩ ꯀꯃꯥꯏꯅ ꯏꯟꯇꯔꯅꯦꯁꯅꯦꯜ ꯀ꯭ꯂꯥꯏꯟ ꯄꯥꯏꯔꯛꯇꯣꯏꯅꯣ? ꯅꯪ ꯍꯧꯖꯤꯛ ꯆꯠꯇꯣꯔꯤꯕ ꯖꯔꯅꯤꯗꯣ I've already done that in my last 9 years. ꯀꯣ ꯑꯗꯨ ꯑꯣꯏꯇꯥꯔꯒꯗꯤ ꯅꯪꯁꯨ ꯈꯜꯂꯣꯕ ꯃꯅꯤꯄꯨꯔꯗ ꯑꯩꯅ ꯅꯍꯥꯟꯁꯨ ꯍꯥꯏꯕꯗꯣ if you are my states ꯀꯣ ꯍꯧꯖꯤꯛ ꯌꯨꯠ ꯑꯣꯏꯕꯤꯔꯝꯃꯕ ꯁꯣꯝꯅ ꯀꯣ ꯑꯗꯒꯤ in Manipur, sir, you know what? We have a very bad situation right now. It's going flood
Yeah,
in the region. Have you heard that?
I did hear that. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So it's a very it's to be very honest, it's against us because we
Yeah.
are, we're working so hard as a business, and it's affected to all the business owners across the state of Manipur right now. So why should we will still stuck in the state of Manipur instead of thinking like a global business?
No, I understand when there's
Yeah,
priorities.
so
Yeah.
yeah, so I think this is a very high time we need to take an action so that we will learn English. And by the grace of God, I'm very, very happy and thankful and coming to our academy, helping us to speak English confidence with Sarah. And this is the very most important opportunities for us. And if you're not taking action, ngasi somna lobi hꯧꯗ꯭ꯔꯒꯗꯤ ꯀꯣ ꯁꯣꯝ ꯑꯗꯨꯝ ꯃꯅꯤꯄꯨꯔꯗꯒꯤ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏ ꯃꯁꯦꯟ ꯈꯔ ꯇꯝꯅꯔꯒ ꯑꯗꯨꯝ ꯂꯣꯏꯁꯤꯟꯈ꯭ꯔꯅꯤ ꯀꯣ ꯑꯗꯨ ꯁꯣꯝꯅ ꯑꯗꯨ ꯄꯥꯝꯕꯤꯔꯒꯗꯤ ꯑꯗꯨꯝ ꯇꯧꯕꯤꯔꯣ ꯁꯣꯝꯅ ꯑꯥꯁꯨꯔ ꯑꯦꯀꯥꯗꯃꯤꯒ ꯄ꯭ꯂꯁ ꯀꯣ ꯏꯟꯇꯔꯅꯦꯁꯅꯦꯜ ꯄꯤꯄꯜꯒꯩꯒ ꯄꯨꯟꯒꯦ ꯍꯥꯏꯇꯥꯔꯒꯗꯤ ꯁꯣꯝ ꯂꯥꯛꯄꯤꯔꯣ ꯁꯣꯝ ꯂꯝꯕꯤꯁꯦ ꯑꯅꯤꯅꯦꯕ ꯑꯃꯅ ꯀꯣ ꯐ꯭ꯔꯤꯗ ꯇꯝꯕꯒ ꯑꯃꯅ ꯁꯦꯔꯥ ꯃꯁꯥꯃꯛ ꯌꯥꯎꯔꯒ ꯒ꯭ꯔꯨꯞꯇ ꯀꯣ ꯅꯪꯅ ꯍꯥꯏꯖꯔꯤꯕ ꯏꯪꯂꯤꯁ ꯅꯪꯒꯤ ꯚꯣꯏꯁ ꯔꯦꯀꯣꯔꯗꯤꯡ ꯑꯗꯨ ꯁꯦꯔꯥꯅ ꯑꯃꯨꯛ ꯐꯤꯗꯕꯦꯛ ꯄꯤꯗꯣꯏꯅꯤ. I'm sorry. Sarah, once they will start recording, we'll also share at least some feedback so that they can improve, right? In the challenge.
Exactly. Yeah. So you'll know what to work on, what you can do to improve. Yeah.
ꯑꯗꯣ ꯁꯤꯗꯩꯁꯤꯗꯅꯦ ꯊꯃꯣꯏ ꯁꯦꯡꯅꯅꯦ if you really love to join ꯑꯗꯨꯝ ꯆꯤꯟ ꯊꯤꯕꯤꯒꯅꯣ ꯀꯣ ꯌꯥꯎꯅꯤ or ꯌꯥꯎꯔꯣꯏ ꯁꯤꯗꯩꯁꯤꯗ ꯅꯪꯉꯣꯟꯗ ꯀꯩꯝ ꯃꯥꯡꯖꯕ ꯂꯩꯇꯦꯕ ꯅꯪꯅ ꯂꯣꯏꯔꯀꯥꯟꯗꯁꯨꯀꯣ ꯅꯪꯅ ꯀꯩꯝꯇ ꯀꯥꯟꯅꯕ ꯐꯪꯗ꯭ꯔꯕ ꯁꯤꯒꯤ ꯏꯪꯂꯤꯁ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯒꯤ ꯆꯦꯂꯦꯟꯖꯁꯤꯗ you still have your money is insecure. ꯌꯥꯕ꯭ꯔꯥ ꯐ꯭ꯔꯤꯗ ꯇꯝꯕꯒ ꯀꯣ just 3,499 rupees ꯊꯤꯔꯒ ꯀꯣ like 3,499 just spend 30 days with us ꯑꯗꯨꯒ ꯄ꯭ꯔꯦꯛꯇꯤꯁ ꯐꯖꯅ ꯇꯧꯔꯣ ꯑꯗꯨꯒ ꯍꯩꯍꯧꯔꯣ ꯏꯪꯂꯤꯁ ꯍꯩꯍꯧꯔꯣ ꯁꯣꯝꯅ ꯏꯪꯂꯤꯁ ꯉꯥꯡꯕ ꯍꯩꯅꯤꯡꯉꯤꯕ 3,499 MD units. The price of the challenge is 3,499. ꯌꯥꯝ ꯂꯤꯁꯤꯡ ꯑꯍꯨꯝꯒ ꯀꯣ 499 ꯀꯣ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏ ꯁꯤꯗꯩꯁꯤꯗ if you love to join type on the comment ꯀꯣ I'm ready. Let's type again IMR. How many people are ready to join with us in 30-day challenge? Okay, awesome. Thank you. Can I have the commitment? sida somna minambiganobo haidi leidana kem kaide sigi sing ahum chonga sina ko nang punsi mangadong nateba sigi invest tawibsina tawudabu in returns tana nang na tamdose ko English haiba horpa magi British tai ni dana koina English tamaisa ko original people lay tamse adusu world class tagi nang world class product phangni world class strategy techniques adagi wangang sagi low energy tonality karamba waida stress tawani adi kamaina wanga kani sigumba myam je myam ko for me I think this is a very high time we need to take these opportunities. So thank you so much sida haibiriba sigi chat ma'am da sida sir these are the commitment people which are typing IMR ready to join with your courses.
Amazing. Oh, it's amazing. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and really, I'm looking forward to helping more of you on the challenge, and it'll be great to see you there. And thank you, sir, as always.
Yeah, and also I'm joining as well.
Yeah. Oh, I look forward to it.
Yeah, and even my family, even my wife is saying, book my ticket as well. I said we have 6 family members, including my brother and
Amazing.
sister, so we'll join as well.
Perfect. Amazing. No,
Yeah,
I'm really excited about it. And, just making a few changes, getting a bit of feedback, having a plan.
right.
This is a plan that you can use moving forward, and
I
helping
will
on your
collect
own.
all the questions which they have, let's say how they can improve in the most fastest way. And I will collect some of their questions and so that we can also do some homework so that you can deliver the best value which you can.
Absolutely. Yeah. I want to definitely answer your questions that you need. And I'm hoping within the community group as well, you can
Right.
ask questions at any time and I will respond to questions as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we will, Sarah, let's start with like 30 or 40 or what do you want?
What's
Anything.
that? Sorry.
Like number of student which you like to start.
Well, I would love to start with 30 more.
30.
As many as I can help would be great.
Okay, cool. All right. Uh, so guys, ꯑꯩꯁꯨ ꯌꯥꯝ ꯍꯔꯥꯎꯋꯦ ꯅꯣꯏꯅ ꯁꯨꯃꯥꯏꯅ action ꯂꯧꯕꯤꯔꯛꯀꯅꯤꯅ ꯀꯣ ꯑꯩ ꯁꯦꯡꯅ ꯑꯗꯨꯝ ꯊꯥꯖꯩ ꯑꯗꯨꯒ always ꯀꯣ ꯅꯪꯒꯤ ꯄꯨꯟꯁꯤꯗꯁꯨ ꯀꯣ ꯁꯤꯁꯤꯅ ꯀꯌꯥꯝ ꯀꯥꯟꯅꯩ or ꯀꯥꯟꯅꯗꯦꯗꯣ ꯅꯪ ꯗꯥꯏꯔꯤꯗ ꯏꯈꯥꯏꯌꯣ ꯀꯣ ꯃꯅꯤꯄꯨꯔꯒꯤ ꯍꯤꯁꯇ꯭ꯔꯤꯗꯅꯦ ꯑꯥꯁꯨꯔꯅ ꯉꯝꯕ ꯉꯝꯗꯕ ꯃꯄꯥꯟꯗꯒꯤ ꯑꯍꯩ ꯍꯩꯕ ꯄꯨꯁꯜꯂꯛꯑꯒ ꯀꯣ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏ ꯌꯥꯝ ꯄꯤꯛꯄ ꯀꯩꯅꯣꯅꯦ company, we're a very small company. Sarah, I start working from my home. This is my home. It's not like a big company. It's like, yeah, like $1 million company. We're not that. So we are a very small company, but we are impacting more people in the state of Manipur, more than I think 6,000 plus people in my community right now.
That's amazing, honestly.
Yeah, and also we create lots of success stories in Asur Academy. And on the process, we have batch number 4. We are cooking something for, you know, to bring some outstanding student, especially for you as well. If you teach us and English, will bring some UK clients in Manipur.
Amazing.
Yeah. So thank you, Sarah, for giving us a time today, and I really, really appreciate it. Uh, and I'll see you on 9th of June.
See you on 9th of June. Yeah, thank you so much. And thank you for the great questions and insights. It's been lovely to see you all again. And hopefully see you next week in the
Next.
challenge.
Thank you. Awesome, awesome. So yeah, everyone have a good night, and I'll see you inside the classes tomorrow. Thank you, guys. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.